Welcome to Mother Suckers Hero Hunters. You can see I've hit 6666666 power. I had to plan that out a little bit, adding some small items and upgrading some skills to get to that number. And I've crossed that since then, but thought you might get a kick out of that. So today we're looking at Min from the Magistrates. People have asked me to do a video about her. I wanted to make sure that I had her at a good level. I had a chance to actually use her a little bit before I actually did a video about her. So I think I've got a pretty good idea now, and hopefully this video is useful for you. Thanks to everybody for the subs. I'm up to over 70 subscribers, and it's really just great to get the good feedback from you that these videos are helping. I know that there's a lot of people that are playing this game and always wondering about how do I level up my characters, which team should I use for PvP. So that's what I'm here to do, is just help from my perspective, and hopefully it's useful, and again makes for a better game for all of us. So you're going to see me upgrading Min. I'm going to do it in now double time speed, so you don't have to watch and everything exactly the speed that I did it in. And obviously this happened a little bit over time to collect the items and get the cash and the frags, but I wanted you to see what it looked like when you upgrade her and what happens to her stats and her skills. And so I took her from basically nothing when I first got her, unlocked her, you saw, to ultimately we're going to get her to 9-star and platinum, and that's when we'll see where she ends up. So my take on Min is that and we'll actually put her into some PvP battle in a little bit too, is that she's a pretty decent character. I think we're still trying to figure out where exactly she fits in. I have to say that after using her, I'm not sure that I would use her after all the Magistrates month is over, but I'd like to be proven wrong, because currently some of the roles that she plays as like a support character, I'd probably have other support characters in instead of her. She doesn't really heal, but she's good at keeping herself alive. She can definitely, stop Dogface in his tracks. And if Dogface is their only DPS, you can pretty much ruin their game plan. So that's what I like about her, is that a lot of times in this game, we know what to expect. So the fact that she can do things you're not expecting, the person's not expecting you to do, or can mess up their game, that I think can be frustrating and also has a tangible effect on their ability to damage and hurt your team. So in terms of what she's really all about, I mean, you can see that her bronze skill, when you look at it, is really all about taking away the other person's ammo and then disorienting them and silencing them while doing a decent amount of damage. So that's good for somebody who has a slow reload time and takes a while to load up, or has a big clip, and you just want to like take them off their game, and then at the same time stop them from really being able to do any damage, because when you're disoriented, it means that you're doing less damage, and your accuracy is low and silent, so they can't use any of their skills. So you have a fully loaded up Dogface and you use a bronze on him, it's pretty much just ruining him for a few seconds. The silver skill is more about targeting people that have long cooldowns. So you remove some of their cooldown, and you distribute it to your team members, making their skills load up quicker, and again doing a little bit of damage, a little bit less on the silver than you do in the bronze. Her gold is what I think really when she starts to become more useful, not because she's doing damage, but because she's keeping herself alive and distracting the team. So Smoke Bomb is all about creating this decoy, holographic decoy, that other people are going to try to attack, and it just like comes right out of her. So when you're watching, it's like, oh, okay, you try to hit this decoy, and you don't realize it's not her for a second, and you have to go find her again. So that's actually pretty cool in keeping herself alive, especially as an energy hero. Even though she's rear line, we know energy heroes die quickly in this meta of Panzer and Dogface and Kane and all that. So the Smoke Bomb's definitely good. Firewall is good really just at the beginning of the match, because the other person uses a skill. The first time that each of their heroes uses a skill, it adds a temporary shield. That's good for stopping initial burst teams with like a Panzer, where she's doing so much damage right up front. If as soon as Panzer uses a skill, it's shielding your teammates for a while. So it's kind of good for early protection, but then it kind of dies off after that. So there's certain skills that are really good just for a period of time, and that's what Firewall is. But again, in this meta, it may not be such a bad thing. So I think overall skills are interesting. I think we're going to see people coming up with creative teams. I've tried to figure out some creative usages for her, but pretty much just end up taking a regular meta team and just trying to throw her in there and find her place in there, and especially for extra, PvP points and things like that during the tournaments, because I know she's going to be featured in every tournament this month. 15x points on PvP or whatever the case is, or winning co-op raids with her and Gauntlet and stuff like that. So you do want to get her up to a good level no matter what to make the most out of her this month, and definitely start practicing with her. But you'll see the PvP team I'm putting on with her. I tried out a few different teams, but at the level that I'm playing at, around 60 to 70,000 somewhere, it's not as much room to kind of do too many creative things. You can just pretty much do what you need to do to get that win, and that usually involves some kind of combination of Panzer, Nightingale, Drake, Ifrit, Flatline, Heimlock, those types of characters, and you just try to figure out who you want to swap out of the meta to get her in there. So now you can see I've got up to 9-star platinum, and she's got, you know, she's not like a sturdy character, but she can keep herself alive, and does a decent amount of damage now with her skills. So let's put her into some PvP. So you can see I got a few matches, some with bots, some with real people, and as you know, I'm going to control her, but I don't normally control these characters the whole time. So she's really a good support character, average DPS. If you're hitting a bio, you'll see their energy, you know, their health going down a decent amount, but not, you know, what you call a DPS. But one thing about her skills is they can interrupt as well. So look at this Fortress is going to try to do when he was trying to do his recharge skill, and then Min can do a little bit of an interrupt. So it's good to know that, because sometimes the usefulness is not always the skill itself, but even the fact that it interrupts what they're doing and throws them off. And definitely bronze skill is something you're going to be trying to target against their main DPS, and silver is going to be using against someone who's taking a long time to reload their skill. The bronze skill is really good against like a Dogface and a Panzer and a Nightingale, because Nightingale also has the disorienting and silent effect. So if they're using Nightingale as their main DPS, which a lot of people do, then it really just throws her off. She can't do her heal for a while, she can't make those hits, and that's going to throw them off their game. With Dogface, as I said, if he's loaded up his silver skill and bronze, then you've got use Min's bronze on him, then you know it's going to really throw him off. So you can see, like, you know, I would normally not be controlling her like this. The battle would be a lot faster if I was controlling Panzer and targeting, but I want you to see sort of what kind of damage she's doing, how her skills are operating, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So this is just like a general tip. You should always be going for those headshots. I know in some of these videos I'm kind of thinking about, I'm not really thinking about all those things exactly. I'm not playing it my exact way I usually do, but headshots are just an obvious thing. It's a little harder with a high rate of fire character like Min. It's easier with some of the snipers with the zoom in a little bit more and easier targeting and the accuracy, but why not go for those headshots and get that extra damage? The danger with the rate of fire characters is that you might miss a little bit more if you're too high up. So you do want to control her, because the thing is, if you leave it up to her to figure out who she's going to use her bronze and silver on, it's still going to throw them off. But if she uses it on somebody that you don't really care about, or let's say she uses it on Artemis to take away her ammo, it's not really going to make a whole difference. You want to be really throwing them off. So you want to be doing it after Panzer has fully loaded her skill or something like that, because you know, she takes so long to reload. You take away her ammo, then it just kind of ruins her. So you do want to try to control her, and the way that you could do that is by learning the skill timing. So look at the clock from the beginning, control the character and see when the skills activate, or how many bullets it takes to activate the bronze, and also when they're being controlled by AI, see when those skills activate, because it takes a little bit longer. When you control the hero, their skills activate actually faster. So you want to make sure that you know when those skills are coming. So you're like, okay, it's this time, so I better go into Min and now get ready, because her bronze or silver is probably going to be ready, and now I can go use it and then go back to another character. As I mentioned, you know, the best PvP players that I've seen, and I'm trying to do this more and more, are not just controlling the same character all the time. Now her smoke bomb skill, as you can see there, it's not really as useful as it might be outside of a meta where you've got Knight and Ifrit, because as soon as he does Showtime, then the decoy doesn't really do anything, because she's still going to be visible, and she's so weak that if she's below 50% health, they'll probably try to finish her off. So just to make note of that smoke bomb is useful, but maybe if you're facing an Ifrit Knight team, don't just relax thinking that you're going to be safe and that she's now invisible. And even then, people are getting really good at hunting invisible heroes these days, so just good to know that about the meta. Maybe things might change, but right now it's still all about Ifrit Nightingale on so many teams that it kind of takes away from her smoke bomb. Still a cool skill, still throws the enemy off a little bit, but not as good as it might be. So you saw that I died there, but I ended up winning that match, but I wouldn't normally be controlling her. So you can see here when I'm hitting somebody like Maven, who's a pretty weak character, then you know, she's actually not bad in terms of being able to do a little bit of damage. And I'm not sure if people are targeting Min or not. I've been trying to figure that out. The bronze skill, though, as you saw with Maven there, is a good finisher, especially for a bio character. Like, it does a decent amount of damage, and as I said in a previous video, finishing characters off is so important. Doing all this damage and then leaving them to get healed or turn invisible is just going to ruin your game. It's much better to take a hero out fully than to do a lot of damage to two heroes, to be honest, because making the match 5-4 is a high priority. That just puts you at such an advantage early on. So your goal is, if you can, take out somebody really quickly in the match. So you can see with Min, she's, you know, a decent amount of damage and a decent hero. So here's what my magistrates look like. Good luck this month, and thank you for all the support. Like, comment, let me know what kinds of videos you want me to do, and I'll definitely stay in touch in the game. I'll see you in PvP. Happy hunting.